yesterday we were looking at these names, right? This is where we ended. That it was consistent and independent if it had one solution. No solutions was inconsistent, and dependent was coincident ones. Yes. Okay. So. Okay. Ryan, go ahead.
I was just going to mention that.
All right. So what we're doing now is we're going to take a look and see how we can find those missing things when without actually having to do the calculation, without having to actually graph it. Okay. So we can kind of picture in our mind that the graphing would happen, but do that without actually graphing it. So, in order to do this, if we solve them for y, put them in mx plus b form, we can tell if they have the same slope. Remember, if they don't have the same slope, then they are independent. If they have the same slope and different y-intercepts, that makes them inconsistent. In other words, no solution. But if they turn out to be the same equation, we call it coincident or consistent or dependent. This one you want to find out dependent, independent, or inconsistent without graphing. So solve each one for y. On this, if I solve it for y, in other words, you move over the 3x on the first one, and then divide by 2. And for the second one, you move over the 5x and divide by 3. Okay? So here's our solution. Y equals negative 3/2 x plus 7. Y equals 5/3 x plus 5. Why do I have those circled?
Because those are the slopes.
Those are the slopes. So since those are the slopes, if you look at, you have the page right in front of you, is that in the dependent category or the independent category or the inconsistent category?
How would you know?
Look at the slopes. Okay, look on the notes. What did we say if they're different slopes? They're independent.
It would be intersections.
These are different slopes.
So they're different slopes. That means they're independent. They would eventually cross each other somewhere. So they're in the independent category. All right. Yep. Yep. Probably, well, I would rather do the teaching stuff so that you can ask questions, because we can take care of that when the guys come back, to be honest.
Degrees on right.
Yep. Okay, so right here, when we solve for y, get the y by itself. Take a second to do that. So we take away x from both sides. We divide by 2. Here we take away 2x from both sides. We divide by 2. We get a thing. We get this. Y is negative 1/2 x plus 9. Y is negative 1/2 x plus 7. I know you guys know how to solve for y. All right.
So would it be
so is it out of these 3 choices? Inconsistent. Because there's no solution. In other words, no solution.
These are parallel.
These are parallel. They have different y-intercepts, so they're parallel, so they are inconsistent. So let's get the last 2. So go ahead and solve for y. Take a minute to solve for y. And then determine whether it is dependent, independent, or inconsistent.
Oh, does that say y equals negative 3/8 with the red one,
Y equals negative 3/2 because you divide both sides by 2, and then that gives you 3/2 and 3/2 x. Negative 3/2 x.
So I get it.
But for all of them, you have to solve for y, and then identify the slopes, and then look at that thing that I gave you as far as whether they were independent, dependent, inconsistent.
I'm gonna guess that this one's repeated.
I have 4 of them, so you just don't.
That's wonderful. Is 3x minus 9y dependent?
Is this one dependent? Let's see.
Oh, I guess
Yes,
that's my head.
good. Because it comes out to be the same exact equation. So that's dependent. It would be coincident. It would be, this one is actually just the same as this one. Okay.
What?
So then you have one more. So
What, I mean, how'd you get 5? Oh, you simplified the 15 over 9. Yeah, I feel you. It's like,
15 over 9 turns into 5/3.
but I didn't get, I got 1/3.
1/3.
The last one independent?
then
1/3.
Mine are not.
This is also 1/3.
So the whole problem is the same.
Then
Then it's dependent?
yes.
It's just the slope.
If it's just the slope, then
And
it's
it's
inconsistent.
No,
Is the last one independent?
I didn't get there yet. Let me do it yet.
Okay, well then.
Well, I can't force you to tweak out to it. That's what you gotta say.
I don't have a personality.
Don't talk to me. I'll murder you.
Calm down, baby.
Good. Just do your work.
That was a good
Finish
one.
that one. All right, now.
I'll look you.
You know the dance potential?
No, please. No. All right, let's take a look here. This one is going to be independent because when you solve for y, we get 3x here, we get 3/5 there, something completely different. So they don't even try, it doesn't even try to trick you into thinking that it's the same, so independent when they're completely different on the slopes. They could have the same y-intercept, but and still be independent. It's all found in the slopes for those. Okay? All right. Now that lesson goes with assignment number 19, which is due Monday. But we want to start on 3-2 because I have a place I need to get to by the end of the school year, and we have some challenges, so I need to get us started on that. So those that get dismissed early are going to need to make sure that you watch. I'll try to make it so that I'm not doing like a huge amount of time, but I do want to make sure that I'm moving you guys forward. I want to at least do what's on part 1 on the next thing, okay? Because we're going to move on to solving systems.
Wait, so the homework for, wait, I'm not.
The homework that's due Monday
for
is just from
3-1?
section 1.
Oh, so I don't have to worry about.
So section 2, we're going to start today, we're going to finish on Monday, but you should probably watch and take notes. Okay. There we go. Oh, you need it back up?
Yeah. But why was your reaction to opera?
Was that answer? Is that geometry?
It was geometry, yes. Actually, it might be physics. I think no, it was geometry that was out there. Geometry's not horrible.
It's not at all. It's just, there's not.
Wait, we're doing
There's
geometry?
many
No.
mental breakdown.
I'm one of those people that don't like geometry.
I like it better than this class. I'm sorry.
I actually like.
I like geometry better than algebra too.
It's like working with shapes and looking at
Shapes
it.
All right,
Yes.
guys,
Shapes are way better than
remember that
equations.
the recording is still happening.
Sorry.
Hi everyone. Now you know I like geometry over algebra too. So
I mean, wave championship game.
All right, everybody got this? All right, they're probably like most of the way done. Coach Tammy was watching it during.
We were watching it last period.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so solving by substitution. This goes back.
Since we're gonna solve for x and y.
We solve for a single variable and substitute it into the other one. The other one we're going to be dealing with is elimination, but we start with substitution. So our steps are, number one, solve one equation for one variable. So for example, if I'm going to solve 2x plus y equals 10 for y, all I have to do is take away the 2x. Okay, so that's our first step that we do. Then the other thing that we would need to do then is we would need to take that and plug it in to the other equation where y is. So you're going to take out this y and put in negative 2x plus 10. Let's see how horrible this looks. Okay, so hold this down.
I quit.
Just needed to pull that down a little bit. There we go. All right, so here's your y. We solved this one for y. Then you take this and you plug it in here so it looks like this. So 3y, 4 times negative 2x plus 10 equals 12.
All right, rewind.
Yep. Sure. You take the equation that is easiest. Yes, so the one that's easiest to solve for one variable. You can either solve for x or solve for y. This bottom one is almost solved for y. Y is almost by itself, so pick the easiest one. So we take away 2x. And now since y equals that, you can take that 2x minus 10 and put it into the other equation where y is.
Please excuse this interruption. Girls varsity volleyball, you are dismissed.
Wait.
At this time, girls volleyball, you are dismissed. Thank you.
Adios, amigos.
Oh wait, I'm gonna
It's a re-gun.
Nos vemos.
I literally called that perfectly. I said I grabbed all my stuff out.
Okay, so does everybody understand about the substituting in? We put it in there.
Wait,
Yeah.
so how do you plug it into the calculator?
We're gonna have to do a little bit by hand and then the calculator
So
will help us
instead of putting
end it.
y, you would put that in for y.
Put it in for y
Into the
other.
opposite one.
If you put it back into the original one, all you're gonna do is it's not gonna give you an answer, all the variables will drop out. And in order to solve a system, you have to involve both equations. So you involve the first one to solve for the variable, then put it into the other one. And now you need to use those algebra skills that you've been honing over all of the years by distributing this 4, right? And once you distribute the 4, then you need to do the other steps. So kind of work your way through that. Let me pull the next one up. There we go. All right, so pretend that this is lined up where it needs to be. There it is. There.
So it's end up going to be 2 x's.
There we go. So 3x minus 8x plus 40, because that 4 gets distributed to both of those things. Remember that, Paul, the distributive? Okay.
It would be negative 11x.
So negative 5x, because positive and negative. So you can use your calculator for 3 minus 8 if you want to get the negative 5. All right, then we need to do what?
Subtract 40
to both sides.
Subtract 40.
Sorry, subtract 40 to both sides.
So when you subtract 40, you get negative 28. Then what?
Divide by 5.
Divide by negative 5. So negative divided by negative gives you positive.
So then it would give you come on 28 5.6.
Okay, yeah. And decimals are fine to get for answers as long as they're not as long as they end, and if they don't end and they go on to the end of the calculator, then use the math frac button to turn it into a fraction. So now this last step is that you need to take this answer that you got and you need to substitute it into either one of the equations.
We're not done.
No, because we only got an x. We got to get an x and y. We're getting an ordered pair. So you find this x and you pick the easiest equation to solve into. So for example, I wouldn't plug into the top one. There's too much to do there. I'd plug into the bottom or I might even plug into this one where I already solved for y.
Wait, why is the bottom one the easier?
Because there's no
at-
variable next to y.
Yeah,
Number next to
yeah,
y.
there's not as much going on.
Because both of them have both.
At first, right, before, like when we first started this problem, we picked the bottom one, right?
Mhm.
And then we got y equals negative 2x plus 10, right?
Correct.
And then we plug that into the top problem.
Yep.
Which gives x.
Mhm.
And now we're gonna plug that same thing into the bottom problem again.
It can go into the bottom or the top.
So
And both of them would give you the same answer, it's just easier.
I got
Okay,
a
light bulb, what was your light bulb about?
Yeah, what you say, now I get it.
Oh, good, yes, good job.
I got that right, and then I got 11.2.
And then you got 11.2 plus y equals 10.
So you would subtract 11.2.
Subtract 11.2 gives you negative 1.2.
Yeah, they got 1.2, and that's your y.
So as an ordered pair, that is,
Correct. Among them. Oh,
what is it as
5.6
5.6
and y 1.2.
and negative 1.2.
Wait,
And
is
that's
it
your
minus 11.2 or is it plus?
minus 11.2 because you've got a plus over here. You need to get rid of the plus, so you have to subtract it.
So you're finding y and x.
Finding y and x.
So every time like the number is in the front, it's automatically a minus.
Are we done with graphing?
Anytime the number is in the front, no, well, it has to be a positive. If you have a positive, then yeah, you subtract
Okay,
it.
but like if there's like no negative sign there, and it's like it doesn't matter, 5x, 3x, whatever, it'll be minus.
Yep. Okay. All right, so substitution, algebraically, okay, let's go through this one. On this one, which one of these is going to be easier to solve for a single variable?
The first one.
Okay, the first one, and what variable would you solve for?
You solve for x.
Let's solve for x on that one.
So it doesn't matter what order you.
It doesn't matter which one you pick, it doesn't matter which variable you start picking.
But when you plug in, so when you plug in x, you can plug it into any one, but when you plug in y, you plug it into the opposite one.
If you solve for x, regardless of which one you use to start, you have to plug whatever it was into the other one.
Oh, so
Because you have to involve both equations.
And then for the last step, when you have to plug in
y, you can plug y into either one.
Yeah.
either one.
So whichever one you do first, do opposite. The second one you do.
Yeah. This one's just so that you're getting a variable by itself. Always do the simplest one. Some of them, listen, honestly, some of them in your books, they solve by substitution, but it's harder to solve by substitution. And some say solve by elimination. Elimination is usually, is a lot of times
Please excuse
easier.
this interruption. This is for the 12th graders. After the bell rings at the end of the day, please report to your homeroom. Seniors, please report to your homeroom after the 2:45 bell. Thank you.
Okay, well, let's finish this problem anyway. Here we go. So from there, you take that and you plug it into the other equation. So we're taking negative 3y plus 5 and put it in where the x is.
So it's negative 2.
So negative 2 times negative 3 gives you 6y minus 10 minus 4y.
So you have negative 6 minus 4y. Yeah.
There we
Or 6
go.
minus 4y.
There we go.
That would give you 2y minus 10.
2y minus 10. Now be careful. Don't get confused with over here. You're simplifying, so you're not doing something to both sides. You're just taking 6y minus 4y. That's
Why can't you
2y.
just add the 4y to the 6y so it's a positive?
It is positive.
If you so you get a
6 minus
positive
4 is
2.
2.
Hold on.
Oh yeah.
When we added that one, when we subtracted that 3y, how did we get plus 5? Like, why wasn't it just 3?
Over
Why was it just minus 3y?
over here. Right here?
Yeah.
Why is it plus 5? Because when there's no sign in front, it implies that it's positive. So the negative 3y, you're taking away the 3y from both sides, so negative 3y plus 5. It gets put into the other equation. Here it is. Then we need to use your algebra rules, so we distribute. Negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Then when we simplify, 6 minus 4 is 2y,
But how do we get to 6y subtract 10?
because this 2 has to distribute to here
Wait, but we never found X.
and to here. We're working on finding,
Negative 2 times
Y,
5 is
yes.
negative 10, right?
wait, hold on, Paul, go ahead.
Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, right?
Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, yes. All right, Justin?
So when you're doing 6y and then minus, isn't that make it a negative? Like the minus 4y,
Mhm.
isn't that like, I put my calculator, isn't it? When you subtract, you have to subtract 6y and then you're gonna put it down with the 4y, negative 4y. Wouldn't that equal negative 10 though?
But this isn't a negative 6.
You're not multiplying. I mean, you're not.
I think, oh wait, I think I know what you're thinking, guys. Okay, so if you're putting it, like you're trying to reorder them so that it's next to the 4, be careful because this 6 has a positive in front of it. So if you're jumping it over here to be next to the 4, this negative is attached to the 10. It's not attached to the 6. No, so if you're going, you are simplifying it. If you go from left to right, 6y minus 4y gives you 2y.
Alright, but Daddy, why
Yep.
isn't it 6y plus negative 10?
You could write plus negative 10 if you want. It means the same thing.
I'm sorry, lady, that I didn't know.
Now, what will we do next? Add 10. So when we add 10, negative 5 plus 10 gives you 5. And then divide by 2 and we get 2.5. All right. Now, I have that. What could I do next?
Solve for y.
Well, we found y.
Solve for x.
Solve for x. So which equation do you think looks easiest?
Top.
Top one. I would put it in the top one because x is already. So usually the one that you pick to do solving for the variable, that's usually the one you want to plug into later anyway because it'll be
3
easier.
times
So
2.5 is 7.5.
3 times 2.5 gives you 7.5. Then subtract,
So yeah.
and we get negative 2.5. And we have an ordered pair now. Our answer is negative 2.5, 2.5. And we get our answer. What do I do next? I think
We started on homework.
that would be a good place to stop. This gives them a little bit to watch, gets their feet wet on it. And so I'm going to stop this right now, and you're going to work on your
I put
homework.
my toes in water.